Thank you, Guillaume.
You're welcome.
We are running out of time, so I will ask you to answer the questions very brief. So the first question for you is, this kind of tests modify the high coefficients surface exchanges. How is this parameter taken into account?
It modifies what coefficient?
The high coefficients surface exchanges.
I don't think it modifies any more than the creating test. Rather, I think that by heating with the low power sources, which means there's no, for example, fan inside, the temperature variations stay very low. Mostly during the heating, we only heat by a few degrees. So I consider that, and we do consider that all exchanges are actually that there's no real modifications of the exchange coefficients, and as I said, less than when we do a test with fans and stuff like that.
Okay. And how long did you have to get the adequate 48-hour of data with the low wind, regular sun, etc. circumstances?
So I didn't understand the question.
How long did it take you to get to the adequate 48 hours of data necessary for the?
Well, I'm not sure I understand. When we need 48 hours of data, we go to a house during 48 hours. I mean, we really go into buildings, set the test, wait 2 nights, take everything back, and do the calculation. When we arrive in the house, 2 days later, we can have the result. So or then I didn't understand the question, but we don't do a lot of tests and peak 48 hours after that. It's really 48 hours is the time for everything, installation and cleaning included.
Okay, I think that's clear. All right. There are 2 general questions to all of the panelists. I would like to ask at least one of the presenters to answer them. One of the questions is if you are aware of the P-star methodology.
I am. I know it exists at least. For what I've studied of it, I would say I was not really. I would say that it seemed to me rather complicated, and when I learned of it, we already were quite advanced with our method, and I did not see how to have any more information from it. So I didn't study it more than that. So I don't know if anybody else in the panelists has any more information. But.
Any totally different experience with P-star?
It is. It's, if I remember well, you stabilize the temperature for a while, then change the temperature for a few maybe days, and stabilize again, and study both the quasi-static and the dynamic part. But as it was longer than our own method and more complicated than the creating test, we did not use it for reference nor for research.
Okay. And the other question is to all the panelists. What do you see as the commercial value of the co-heating tests, and who commissions such tests? If you want to speak, you have to unmute yourself. So.
Yes, one possible thing is that you could, if you would build a series of houses, you could use it as a way to test one of the houses to see whether it conforms to the standard which was put forward as a kind of reference house.
Yeah, hello there. And it's got huge quality assurance value in terms of developers being able to determine how their buildings actually perform. I mean, the construction industry is quite unusual in the sense that it's one of the very few industries where we construct a product, in this case buildings, but they have absolutely no idea how they actually perform in reality. So the coherent test gives them a way of checking how they actually perform and being able to compare that to how they should be predicted to perform, bearing in mind how they've been built, and so they can compare it to their original design intentions as well. In terms of who actually commissions the test, it's a range of people ranging from product manufacturers who are interested in how their products actually perform in situ, RSLs who want to know how their buildings perform and the sorts of technology they may want to apply within the building, to make sure the buildings do perform as close to predicted as possible, and obviously government agencies which are very interested in much larger strategic issues about reducing CO2 emissions and how can we have buildings that perform much better than they currently do, and much closer to how they should do in practice.
Very good, thank you. Okay, I propose that we close the questions session here, and I give the floor back to Alexander.